Predator: Badlands is a science fiction action film released in 2025 that represents a bold evolution of the long-running Predator franchise, one of Hollywood's most enduring science fiction action series. Directed by Dan Trachtenberg and written by Patrick Eisen from a story by Trachtenberg and Eisen, Badlands marks a significant shift from traditional Predator films by centering its narrative on the alien hunters themselves rather than humans confronting them. The film was produced by a team including John Davis, Dan Trachtenberg, Mark Togroff, Ben Rosenblatt, and Brent O'Connor, and was developed by Lawrence Gordon Productions, Davis Entertainment, and Togroff Entertainment, with distribution by 20th Century Studios. With a reported production budget of approximately $105 million, Badlands stands as one of the most expensive films in the franchise's history, and its release in November 2025 generated considerable attention from fans and critics alike. The basic premise of Predator: Badlands departs from the familiar Earth-based confrontations between humans and the Yautja, the alien species commonly known as predators, and instead thrusts audiences into the distant future on a hostile, remote world known as Jenna. This new setting is characterized by unforgiving terrain, ferocious native creatures, and a sense of isolation far beyond anything seen in previous installments. The story follows a young Yautja named Dek, portrayed by Dimitrios Shoustakalo-Amatangi, who is considered a runt and an outcast by his own clan. Dek's physical shortcomings and perceived weaknesses result in his exile. He is sent on a rite of passage mission intended to test him by hunting the deadliest creature on Jenna. The intention is deeply rooted in Yautja culture, where strength, honor, and the ability to prove oneself through combat are paramount. After crash landing on Jenna, Dek quickly discovers that survival alone is an immense struggle. The planet's ecological hierarchy is brutal, and its predators are cunning, powerful, and merciless. In this alien environment, where the rules of engagement are different and the familiar technological comforts of Yautja society are absent, Dek's journey becomes as much about understanding himself as proving his worth. It is here that he encounters Thea, played by Elle Fanning in a role that subverts traditional franchise expectations. Thea is not human. She is a damaged synthetic android created by the fictional Weyland-Yutani Corporation, a conglomerate famous within genre cinema for its connections to the alien universe. Thea has lost her legs and much of her mobility, yet her intelligence and will to survive remain intact. As Dek and Thea's paths intersect, they form an uneasy but ultimately essential partnership, relying on each other to navigate the dangers that surround them. The relationship between Dek and Thea serves as one of the emotional cores of Predator: Badlands. Dek, initially driven by a desire to prove himself and regain his place within Predator society, begins to question the very definition of honor and strength as he confronts not only external threats but internal doubts. Thea, whose origins tie back to the corporate machinations of Weyland-Yutani, provides a contrasting perspective on survival and purpose. Where Dek's world is governed by traditional rights, trophies, and the pursuit of the ultimate hunt, Thea represents resilience and ingenuity, an artificial life navigating a world that is indifferent to her existence. Their dynamic, at times tense and at times collaborative, evolves throughout the narrative, offering moments of humor, tension, and genuine character development that go beyond the franchise's typical action beats. As Dek and Thea travel deeper into the Badlands, the harsh wilderness of the planet, they encounter ever more dangerous creatures, rival Yautja hunters, and remnants of Weyland-Yutani operations. The film's antagonists include not just physical beasts but ideological opposition, as other predators remain committed to outdated notions of honor that do not always take survival or adaptability into account. Among these threats is Tessa, another synthetic also played by Elle Fanning, who appears later in the story as a contrasting mirror to Thea. Tessa's allegiance and motivations differ from Thea's, creating additional conflict and raising the stakes for Dek's quest. The visuals and world building in Badlands further set it apart from previous franchise entries. Cinematography by Jeff Cutter and the film's extensive visual effects, crafted by industry leaders, create a vivid and treacherous environment that feels tangible and alive. The hostile wilderness of Jenna, with its strange flora and fauna, situates the audience in a world where danger is omnipresent. Battles range from intimate skirmishes against native creatures to larger confrontations with other predators, each encounter choreographed to emphasize Deck's growth and the physical and psychological toll of his journey. Musically, the score composed by Sarah Schachner and Benjamin Wallfisch supports the film's dramatic and action sequences, blending atmospheric tension with explosive themes that underscore the emotional and narrative arcs of the protagonists. The film's editing, handled by Stefan Grube and David Trachtenberg, maintains a balance between frantic action, character beats, and moments of quieter reflection, ensuring that the pacing serves both the spectacle and the thematic depth of the story. The production of Predator, Badlands included principal photography in New Zealand, where filming began in August 2024 under the working title Backpack and continued through late October of that year. New Zealand's varied landscapes provided the rugged, alien environments needed to represent Jenna's treacherous terrain. The collaborative nature of the production, integrating practical effects with cutting-edge digital work, reflects Trachtenberg's commitment to crafting a Predator story that feels both rooted in the franchise's legacy and forward-looking. Marketing for Badlands began well before the film's release, with teaser trailers introducing Deck and Thias' journey and hinting at the perilous landscape that defines Jenna. The first public teaser trailer debuted in April 2025, showing glimpses of the alien world and the unusual dynamic between the Predator protagonist and the android. Subsequent official trailers, including a final trailer released in October 2025, expanded on these elements, teasing thrilling sequences, massive creatures, giant robots, and the appearance of Tessa, further fueling anticipation for the film's November release. Predator, Badlands premiered on November 3, 2025, at the TCL Chinese Theater, a prestigious venue in Los Angeles known for high-profile events. It then saw a wide theatrical release in the United States on November 7, 2025, distributed by 20th Century Studios. Many international markets, including Brazil, Portugal, France, Sweden, Australia, and Germany, received the film around the same early November dates, with regional variation depending on local distribution schedules. The film was made available in multiple formats, including standard theatrical screenings as well as IMAX, Dolby Cinema, RealD 3D, and premium large formats such as 4DX and ScreenX, offering audiences immersive ways to experience the alien world of Jenna. Unlike earlier Predator movies, most of which were rated R for intense violence and gore, Predator, Badlands received a PG-13 rating from the Motion Picture Association for sequences of strong science fiction violence. This marks a noteworthy shift in the franchise's rating history, intended to broaden the film's accessibility while still delivering action and intensity. The absence of human red blood, due to the movie's focus on alien species and synthetic characters, likely contributed to the PG-13 rating, as producers noted they could push the boundaries of creature violence without explicit earthly bloodshed. Upon release, Predator, Badlands performed strongly at the box office, topping domestic charts during its opening weekend with significant earnings that reflected its appeal to both longtime franchise fans and new audiences. Early estimates indicated a worldwide gross surpassing $80 million in initial receipts, with strong domestic and overseas interest contributing to an overall box office haul approaching $184 million, positioning the film as a commercially successful entry for the series. Critically, the film was well received, with a high approval score on review aggregator websites based on hundreds of professional reviews and even higher audience approval ratings, indicating that critics and viewers alike appreciated the franchise's new direction. Reviews praised the emotional depth given to the Predator protagonist, the quality of the world building, and the balance the film strikes between evolving franchise storytelling and the visceral excitement that longtime fans expect. Following its theatrical run, Predator, Badlands is expected to be released on digital and streaming platforms. While exact streaming dates vary by region, industry reporting suggests that the film may become available for digital purchase and rental in December 2025, with eventual streaming on services like Hulu or Disney+, potentially in early 2026. This timeline aligns with the release patterns of other modern franchise films and reflects the integration of theatrical and digital distribution strategies. In terms of the Predator franchise's broader legacy, Badlands represents a significant evolution. Where earlier films focused on humanity's confrontation with an almost mythic alien hunter, this installment flips the perspective, offering an intimate look at the internal struggles, cultural rights, and personal growth of a Yautja. By emphasizing character development, world building, and a nuanced relationship between an alien warrior and an android ally, the film expands the narrative possibilities of the franchise and opens the door for further exploration of Predator lore in future sequels or spin-offs. Interviews and reports around the film's release have hinted at potential future collaborations or storylines, including possible appearances by legacy characters and continued crossover elements with connected science fiction worlds, though specifics remain subject to studio planning and audience response. Ultimately, Predator: Badlands stands as a reimagining of a classic science fiction icon. By placing a predator at the story's emotional heart, situating the narrative on a richly detailed alien world, and crafting a partnership between unlikely characters, the film honors the franchise's roots while forging a new path forward. Its thematic focus on honor, identity, survival, and companionship, interwoven with intense action and cutting-edge visuals, ensures that Badlands resonates with both longtime enthusiasts of the series and newcomers drawn to imaginative, character-driven science fiction cinema. Predator: Badlands is an ambitious and refreshing addition to the Predator franchise, a saga that has spanned decades and evolved from a simple story of humans hunted by an alien species into a rich narrative universe exploring culture, honor, and survival. Unlike previous installments, which often centered human characters as the primary point of view, Badlands places the audience directly in the perspective of the predator species itself, known as the Yautja. This narrative choice provides a rare opportunity to explore the complexities, social structures, and ethical codes of a species previously depicted as a monolithic threat. At the center of this story is Dek, a young predator who has been cast out by his clan due to his perceived weakness. From the opening sequences, it is clear that Dek is not a traditional hero. He is small, less physically imposing than his peers, and considered unworthy by the elders of his clan. This initial rejection serves as the inciting incident for the narrative, propelling Dek into exile and forcing him into a hostile environment where survival is far from guaranteed. The audience is immediately immersed in the predator culture, which is shown to have strict rites of passage and a rigid hierarchy that prioritizes strength, skill, and the successful execution of hunts. The story emphasizes that within Yautja society, honor is not granted but earned, and failure to meet these standards results in severe consequences, including death or permanent exile. As Dek ventures into the alien world of Jenna, the film employs its cinematic techniques to immerse viewers in an environment that is both beautiful and lethal. The landscapes are vast and dangerous, filled with towering flora, deadly fauna, and unpredictable terrain that mirrors the internal and external challenges Dek faces. The cinematography uses a combination of sweeping wide shots to convey scale and intimate close-ups to convey the personal stakes of Dek's journey. In this environment, Dek's small stature and relative weakness force him to rely not solely on brute strength but on intelligence, strategy, and adaptability. He encounters a series of creatures that serve as both physical obstacles and symbolic tests, each encounter pushing him closer to understanding what it truly means to be a predator in a universe that judges survival through lethal trials. Central to Dek's journey is his relationship with Thaya, a damaged android created by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Thaya is introduced in a state of disrepair, having suffered extensive damage that leaves her partially non-functional and reliant on Dek's assistance. Despite being from a species entirely different from Dek, Thaya and Dek form a bond that is both practical and emotional. Their relationship is marked by mutual dependency, with Thaya providing insight, guidance, and technological assistance, while Dek provides protection, strength, and physical support. This alliance represents a thematic shift in the franchise, emphasizing cooperation, empathy, and the breaking down of traditional adversarial roles. Through this partnership, the narrative explores themes of trust, loyalty, and the value of alliances formed under extreme duress. The narrative tension escalates as Dek and Thaya face not only the natural hazards of Jenna but also the presence of other predators and hostile entities that challenge their progress. These antagonistic forces serve multiple narrative functions, They provide high-stakes action sequences that maintain suspense and spectacle, they reinforce the perilous nature of the Yautja world, and they challenge Deck's development by forcing him to confront his insecurities and limitations. Each conflict is designed to test different aspects of Deck's character, from his strategic thinking to his moral judgment, ultimately culminating in encounters that redefine his understanding of strength and honor. The film emphasizes that true power within predator culture is not merely a function of physical dominance but also of intelligence, courage, and the ability to adapt under extreme pressure. As the story progresses, the audience is given glimpses into the broader Yautja culture, including rituals, social hierarchies, and the codified rules that govern hunting and clan dynamics. The clan's rejection of Deck is not portrayed as cruelty for its own sake but as a reflection of deeply ingrained societal values, which are presented in a manner that invites empathy rather than simple judgment. Through these world-building elements, the film deepens the lore of the Predator universe, providing context for the behaviors and motivations of its central characters. The narrative juxtaposes Deck's individual struggle against the backdrop of these societal structures, creating a rich interplay between personal growth and cultural expectation. The film's pacing balances moments of intense action with quieter sequences that allow for character introspection and development. These quieter moments are crucial for establishing the emotional stakes of the story, allowing viewers to understand Deck's internal conflicts, his evolving sense of identity, and the moral dilemmas he faces. Dialogue, though sparse due to the non-human nature of the central protagonist, is supplemented by expressive visual storytelling, including body language, facial expressions, and environmental cues. This approach enables the audience to engage with Deck's perspective in a visceral and empathetic manner, bridging the gap between human viewers and alien characters. Predator: Badlands also distinguishes itself through its attention to detail in costume design, creature effects, and practical sets. The Yautja armor and weaponry are depicted with a level of realism that reinforces their culture and technological sophistication. Similarly, the creatures and environments of Jenna are meticulously designed to create a sense of immersion, with each encounter presenting unique visual challenges and reinforcing the dangers of the alien world. The combination of practical effects and CGI is used strategically to enhance realism and maintain a consistent visual aesthetic that aligns with the franchise's established tone while introducing new elements to keep the world fresh and engaging. The emotional core of the story is Deck's transformation from an outcast considered weak and unworthy to a predator who understands the multifaceted nature of strength. This transformation is mirrored in Thaya's arc as she regains functionality and agency through the course of their partnership. Their intertwined journeys explore the nature of resilience, the importance of cooperation across differences, and the discovery of identity under extraordinary circumstances. These thematic threads are reinforced by recurring motifs, including hunting rituals, environmental challenges, and symbolic tests of courage and intelligence, which serve both as narrative devices and as metaphors for personal growth. By centering a predator as the protagonist, the film challenges audience expectations and expands the scope of the franchise. Where previous films relied heavily on human protagonists reacting to the alien threat, Badlands invites viewers to experience the Predator universe from within, fostering a deeper understanding of Yautja motivations, ethics, and emotional complexity. This narrative inversion allows the film to explore philosophical questions about the nature of power, the ethics of hunting, and the role of societal judgment in shaping individual destiny. It also allows for innovative action sequences that blend strategy, agility, and technological prowess, demonstrating that the Predator's abilities extend beyond mere physicality. As Deck and Thaya traverse the alien landscapes of Jenna, the narrative deepens its exploration of survival under extreme conditions. The terrain itself is a character, presenting unpredictable challenges that test their physical and mental endurance. Extreme weather events, shifting landscapes, and hidden predators create a dynamic environment that requires continuous adaptation. This evolving setting reinforces the narrative's central tension: survival is contingent not only on skill and intelligence but also on the capacity to read and respond to the unpredictable forces of the world around them. A pivotal moment arises when Deck encounters the apex predator of Jenna, a massive creature that embodies the lethal perfection Yautja society reveres. Unlike previous adversaries, This creature possesses intelligence and adaptability that mirrors Deck's own, creating a mirror through which he can confront both external and internal challenges. The ensuing conflict is choreographed as a combination of tactical maneuvers, ambushes, and high-stakes physical combat, blending cinematic spectacle with the psychological drama of facing a worthy adversary. Thaia's role in this climactic phase becomes increasingly critical. Her technological abilities allow for the creation of improvised traps and tactical diversions, enabling Deck to capitalize on the apex predator's predictable patterns while minimizing direct risk. Beyond her practical contributions, Thaia serves as a moral compass for Deck, challenging him to consider alternatives to purely violent solutions. Simultaneously, the narrative introduces a subplot involving remnants of human activity on Jenna, suggesting that the Weyland-Yutani Corporation has deeper, possibly exploitative interests in the planet. Abandoned outposts, surveillance equipment, and cryptic recordings hint at a broader universe in which corporate ambitions intersect with the natural and alien world. These elements serve multiple functions. They expand the franchise's mythos, provide narrative tension through potential external threats, and underscore the broader stakes beyond the immediate survival of Deck and Thaia. As Deck's confrontation with the apex predator reaches its zenith, the film emphasizes thematic motifs of honor, self-realization, and the redefinition of strength. Deck must navigate a series of strategic choices, balancing aggression with restraint, instinct with learned knowledge, and personal desire with ethical responsibility. The battle sequences are carefully interwoven with internal reflections, allowing the audience to experience both the physical intensity of combat and the psychological weight of decision-making. In doing so, the narrative elevates what could have been a straightforward action climax into a multi-layered exploration of character, culture, and morality. The tension is further heightened when rival predator clans converge on the same battleground, drawn by the presence of the apex predator and the ongoing human technological artifacts. This convergence forces Deck to assert his agency not only in relation to the apex predator but also in the context of his cultural peers. Previous flashbacks and teachings from his clan resonate in these sequences, challenging Deck to integrate tradition with innovation. His responses reflect a synthesis of learned experience, personal ethics, and adaptive strategy, highlighting the evolution from exiled youth to competent and respected predator. By the end of this portion of the story, Deck's character has evolved from a tentative, insecure outcast into a more confident and self-aware predator. He demonstrates strategic acumen, emotional intelligence, and ethical reasoning, qualities that redefine the parameters of what it means to be strong within his culture. Thaia's parallel development underscores the narrative's central theme, that growth often emerges through adversity, and that identity is forged not merely through imposed standards but through lived experience and conscious choice. The partnership between Deck and Thaia becomes emblematic of interspecies cooperation and mutual respect, setting the stage for the escalating stakes and climactic confrontations that follow. After the climactic confrontation with the apex predator and rival clans, the narrative transitions into a period of aftermath, reflection, and subtle world-building that enriches the broader context of the Predator universe. Deck and Thaia, having survived their ordeals, begin to navigate a world that feels both familiar and irreversibly changed. The alien landscape of Jenna, once a relentless and unyielding antagonist, now stands as a testament to their adaptability, resilience, and the lessons learned through survival. The narrative uses this post-climax phase to explore the emotional and psychological consequences of their journey, highlighting the weight of experience and the complexity of reintegration into a larger ecosystem of predators and potential human incursions. Deck's transformation is most evident in his interactions with other predators. Whereas he began the story as an outcast, perceived as weak and unworthy, he now commands a presence marked by confidence, strategic intelligence, and ethical clarity. His victories are not solely physical, they are moral and intellectual, reflecting a deep understanding of what constitutes true strength. Thaia's parallel growth reinforces the theme of interdependence and mutual development, illustrating that resilience and evolution are amplified through cooperation and trust. Their combined experiences suggest a broader philosophical meditation, that survival and evolution are inseparable from cooperation, reflection, and the willingness to challenge established norms. The extended exploration of Jenna's ecosystems continues in detail. Each biome, from dense alien forests to jagged cliff faces, volcanic plains, and toxic swamps, is depicted with intricate ecological interactions, emphasizing the interconnectedness of predator, prey, and environment. The film portrays Jenna as a living, breathing planet that reacts to the presence of its inhabitants and intruders. Predators must navigate not only the physical dangers but also the subtle behavioral patterns of indigenous fauna, the consequences of environmental hazards, and the traces of prior human or synthetic exploration. Additional subplots further enrich the story and reinforce the complexity of the narrative universe. Scattered human artifacts from previous Weyland-Yutani expeditions suggest a continuity of human ambition and corporate exploitation. Surveillance drones, half-buried research stations, and cryptic data logs provide context for the historical and ongoing interaction between humans and Jenna's ecosystem. These elements also hint at moral and ethical considerations, the intersection of profit-driven exploration with ecological and species-specific consequences, and the unpredictable ripple effects of human interference in alien environments. Conflict with other predator factions continues to shape Deck's evolution. In these encounters, he must navigate not only physical confrontation but also cultural negotiation, understanding the nuanced codes of Yautja honor, and exercising judgment in line with both ethical principles and strategic goals. Each faction represents a distinct philosophical perspective, emphasizing different aspects of Yautja identity, strength, cunning, adherence to tradition, or willingness to innovate. Through these interactions, Deck demonstrates not only tactical proficiency but also moral discernment, choosing alliances and confrontations in ways that reflect his internal growth. The film's cinematic techniques in these sequences continue to reinforce narrative immersion. Dynamic camera work, including sweeping panoramic shots, high-intensity tracking sequences, and intimate close-ups, allows viewers to experience both the grandeur and the danger of Jenna. The score, blending orchestral tension with alien soundscapes, amplifies emotional stakes and heightens suspense. Practical effects and CGI are seamlessly integrated to depict Yautja weaponry, alien fauna, and environmental hazards with realism and cinematic gravitas. In the concluding sequences, Deck and Thaya, having endured the full spectrum of environmental hazards, predator confrontations, and interclan conflicts, approach the final stages of their journey with a blend of earned confidence and profound self-awareness. This denouement emphasizes that survival is not a singular act of physical prowess but the cumulative result of learning, adaptation, and moral discernment. The film's visual storytelling reinforces this, depicting the characters navigating the alien landscapes of Jenna with a deliberate, measured grace that contrasts with the frantic energy of earlier sequences. Their movements, decisions, and interactions reflect the culmination of growth that has been carefully established throughout the narrative. A climactic confrontation unites all narrative threads, bringing together the apex predator, rival Yautja factions, environmental hazards, and remnants of human technology. Deck and Thaya's strategic coordination demonstrates the synthesis of skill, intelligence, and trust developed over the course of the story. Every decision made by Deck carries moral weight, reflecting his internalization of Yautja codes while simultaneously challenging traditional interpretations of honor. Thaya, fully autonomous and cognizant of her ethical agency, influences the outcome through tactical insight and adaptive ingenuity. Their combined actions illustrate the narrative's central theme, that true strength is measured not only by dominance but by the capacity to act with foresight, empathy, and integrity. The aftermath of this confrontation provides emotional and philosophical resolution. Deck emerges as a predator who has transcended his initial outcast status, earning a form of honor that is self-defined yet recognized within the broader context of Yautja society. Thaya's parallel development reinforces the theme of interspecies and cross-entity cooperation. Together, their arcs provide a rich tapestry through which the film explores resilience, interdependence, and the redefinition of societal and cultural expectations. In conclusion, Predator: Badlands stands as a landmark entry in the franchise, redefining narrative perspective by centering the story on Yautja culture while integrating complex character development, philosophical reflection, and immersive world building. The film expands the possibilities for storytelling within the Predator universe, exploring the intersection of alien culture, synthetic intelligence, and human interference. By weaving together visceral action, ethical complexity, and cinematic spectacle, the film delivers a multidimensional experience that resonates both emotionally and intellectually. Dec and Thias' journey exemplifies the transformative power of experience, collaboration, and moral discernment, offering audiences a narrative that is as compelling in its thematic depth as it is thrilling in its visual execution. Through meticulous attention to character, environment, and cultural detail, Predator: Badlands successfully bridges the gap between spectacle and narrative sophistication. It challenges the audience to reconsider assumptions about the nature of strength, honor, and survival, providing a framework for understanding Yautja society as dynamic, morally nuanced, and ethically complex. The film's conclusion, while offering narrative closure, simultaneously gestures toward the broader universe, ensuring continuity and potential for future exploration. In doing so, it positions itself not merely as another entry in a franchise but as a transformative work that expands the scope and depth of Predator storytelling, affirming its place as a defining chapter in the saga. As Dec and Thia recover from their initial confrontation with Jenna's minor predators, they venture deeper into the Badlands, a region notorious among local fauna for its unforgiving terrain and hidden predators. The Badlands are a labyrinth of jagged cliffs, dense forests of alien flora, and rivers of molten rock that hiss and crackle with toxic gases. Even the air carries danger, thick with spores that irritate respiratory systems and obscure thermal signatures, challenging Dec's sensor suite. Each step must be measured. Miscalculation can mean falling into a trap of natural hazards or drawing the attention of a lurking predator. The tension is omnipresent, with the landscape itself functioning as a sentient adversary, constantly reshaping the battlefield with landslides, rockfalls, and sudden seismic tremors. In the treacherous terrain, Dec notices the first signs of Kalisk influence: broken carcasses of massive creatures, clawed and partially devoured, arranged in patterns suggesting the apex predator's intelligence. The Kalisk's territory is marked by environmental disturbances, twisted trees, scorched rock, and flattened vegetation, indicating its hunting style and strategic placement within the ecosystem. Dec studies these signs carefully, aware that underestimating the creature could result in death. Thia assists by mapping patterns of movement and environmental cues, her synthetic sensors reading vibrations, chemical traces, and residual thermal signatures. This interplay between Dec's primal instincts and Thias' analytical precision underscores their developing partnership. Along the path, they encounter a group of small but highly intelligent predators. These creatures resemble oversized chameleons, capable of refractive camouflage that bends light around their bodies. The creatures coordinate ambushes with astonishing tactical awareness. Dec engages them cautiously, employing a mix of spear strikes, stealth maneuvers, and decoys. Thia manipulates the terrain, triggering rock slides and chemical deterrents. The battle spans several hours, emphasizing strategy and patience over brute force. Dec's ability to adapt his traditional Yautja hunting techniques to an entirely foreign ecosystem demonstrates his growth. Thia begins to understand subtle social cues in Dec, predicting his decisions, while he learns to trust her calculations implicitly. After this encounter, the duo navigates a region of floating rock formations suspended over deep chasms by Jenna's unique magnetic fields. Wind currents whip unpredictably, and the sound of shifting stones masks the approach of predators. Dec must leap across gaps while carrying Thia, who is partially immobilized. The sequence is tense, blending physical exertion with precise calculations. Every misstep could be fatal, as falling into the chasm below would mean immediate death. Here, the narrative emphasizes the theme of reliance. Dec must trust Thias' guidance, and she must trust his instincts. Their survival solidifies their bond, reinforcing the story's central motif of cooperation between disparate beings. During rest periods, Dec continues to reflect on Yautja culture. He examines carvings etched into ancient stone walls, depicting hunts, rites of passage, and displays of honor. These carvings are more than decoration, they are historical records, conveying cultural values and societal expectations. Dek realizes that proving his worth is not simply about survival, it is about demonstrating skill, strategy, and respect for the natural and social order. Thaya observes these rituals with curiosity, interpreting their symbolic meaning while considering their practical applications for survival. The combination of cultural understanding and strategic foresight begins to reshape Dek's approach to hunting and problem-solving. The journey grows more perilous as Dek and Thaya approach the Kalisk's lair. The terrain becomes increasingly hostile, with fissures of molten rock, geysers of toxic steam, and forests of spiny, carnivorous plants that react violently to movement. Dek uses his spear to disable some of the most dangerous flora, while Thaya predicts which paths will minimize risk. Their communication has evolved into a seamless rhythm of gestures, clicks, and signals, a language of survival born of necessity. The narrative emphasizes that in the face of overwhelming odds, adaptability and trust are more potent than raw strength alone. Before the Kalisk encounter, Dek faces a philosophical challenge in the form of a rival Yautja, a seasoned hunter who regards Dek's presence as an affront to the traditional code. This rival, larger and more experienced, challenges Dek not through immediate combat but through a series of trials designed to test strategy, reflexes, and judgment. The sequence is highly detailed, showing Dek's improvisation, quick thinking, and willingness to bend convention in order to survive. The rival predator ultimately recognizes Dek's skill, a moment that reinforces the narrative theme of personal growth and acceptance, foreshadowing the coming battle with the apex predator. The Kalisk's lair is a cavernous expanse, partially underground, with stalagmites and stalactites that form natural obstacles. Pools of phosphorescent liquid provide dim illumination, and the air vibrates with the Kalisk's deep, resonant roars. Dek and Thaya approach cautiously, studying its hunting patterns. The creature is not only physically formidable but also highly intelligent, demonstrating the ability to anticipate movement and exploit terrain. The ensuing battle is a masterclass in strategy. Dek uses deception, Thaya predicts environmental hazards, and together they maneuver the Kalisk into positions where its own strength becomes a liability. Every strike, leap, and countermeasure is meticulously described, showing the fusion of instinct, intellect, and strategy. Throughout the combat, environmental hazards play a crucial role. Dek manipulates loose rock formations to trap limbs, while Thaya calculates the trajectory of geysers of steam to stagger the creature. The fight stretches over hours, with both characters sustaining injuries that test their endurance. Dek's internal monologues reveal his evolution. His understanding of strength is no longer purely physical, he appreciates timing, anticipation, and collaboration. Thaya demonstrates resilience and adaptability, further blurring the line between machine and sentient partner. Finally, using a combination of environmental manipulation, precise strikes, and psychological cunning, Dek incapacitates the Kalisk, claiming its mandibles as a trophy, a ritualistic assertion of victory and proof of honor. The narrative then transitions to the confrontation with Tessa and the Weyland-Yutani operatives. The ruins of an alien city provide the setting, crumbling towers, automated defense drones, and tangled alien flora create a multi-layered battlefield. Every corner contains potential traps, and every shadow may conceal enemies. Dek and Thaya must navigate these hazards while facing opponents who are both strategic and lethal. The engagement is described in detail, including tactical maneuvers, environmental exploitation, and adaptive combat sequences. Tessa's motivations are revealed through dialogue and action. Her allegiance to corporate exploitation contrasts with Thaya's emerging sense of agency and empathy. In the climax, Dek spares Tessa despite the opportunity for lethal retribution, demonstrating a fully realized moral evolution. This act of mercy signals his ascent from a reactive, exiled hunter to a thoughtful, honorable leader. Thaya, despite severe damage, exhibits autonomy, choosing to assist Dek in the final battle rather than follow pre-programmed directives. Their collaboration highlights the narrative's central theme: true strength lies in intelligence, empathy, and partnership, not merely in physical dominance. The aftermath presents a reflective, emotionally resonant conclusion. Dek records a message to his home clan, asserting his accomplishments, redefining the meaning of honor, and symbolizing his transformation. He stands beside Thea, overlooking a scarred but beautiful alien landscape, the sunrise casting warm tones across the terrain. The moment underscores survival, growth, and the potential for future challenges and stories. Cinematically, the film blends sweeping panoramic shots of Jenna's diverse terrains with intimate character moments, using lighting and color to convey emotion and tension. Music alternates between haunting orchestral passages and synthetic motifs, reflecting the fusion of organic and artificial perspectives. Predator: Badlands expands the universe by presenting fully realized alien culture, advanced synthetic intelligence, and complex moral dynamics, redefining the franchise for both longtime fans and new audiences. Dec and Thea's journey across the alien planet culminates not just in survival but in transformation, both physical and psychological. After overcoming the hybrid creature and surviving the planet's relentless environmental hazards, they traverse the scorched landscape in silence, their movements deliberate and calculated. Each step is a reminder of the planet's hostility. Toxic mists rise from fissures in the ground, crystalline predators skitter across jagged rocks, and distant volcanic eruptions cast fleeting shadows that seem to animate the terrain itself. The filmmakers designed these sequences to maintain tension while allowing the narrative to breathe, balancing spectacle with introspection. Dec's enhanced reflexes, learned strategies, and growing intuition allow him to anticipate ambushes, while Thea's predictive analyses and energy-based interventions provide both guidance and protection. Their partnership, forged through necessity and trial, now carries the weight of mutual respect and understanding. In their journey, they encounter minor predator rivals testing Dec's earned reputation. These confrontations are not mere displays of violence but deliberate tests of skill, strategy, and composure. Dec applies lessons learned from every previous battle, luring opponents into natural traps, exploiting environmental hazards, and combining stealth with precision attacks. Each encounter reinforces the film's central thematic assertion: true strength is measured not only by raw power but by adaptability, intelligence, and the capacity to learn from both allies and adversaries. Thea's role evolves alongside Dec's, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of Yautja tactics and contributing to the narrative's exploration of cross-species cooperation and trust. As Dec continues exploring the Weyland-Yutani ruins, he discovers archival logs, ceremonial weaponry, and evidence of prior human expeditions. These artifacts enrich the franchise's lore, connecting the film to events from earlier Predator films, including the original Predator and Prey. The logs reveal the corporation's continued attempts at hybridization and weaponization of Predator DNA, introducing potential narrative threads for sequels and expanded universe storytelling. This integration of world-building allows the audience to see how human ambition and Predator culture intersect, creating moral and ethical complexities that enhance the narrative's depth. The final major environmental challenge comes in the form of a massive storm, where strong winds, shifting sand dunes, and lightning-laden skies create a nearly insurmountable obstacle. Dec and Thea navigate this chaos with precision, employing stealth, speed, and strategic thinking. The sequence emphasizes the planet itself as a character, a living, reactive force testing both their resilience and ingenuity. Practical effects, including wind machines, pyrotechnics, and movable terrain, combined with CGI overlays, create a tangible sense of danger. Every shot, movement, and reaction is choreographed to maintain immersion, demonstrating Trachtenberg's commitment to blending action with narrative stakes. The narrative reaches its emotional peak as Dec confronts Njor, his father and clan leader, during the hybrid's defeat. The father-son confrontation embodies the culmination of Dec's personal growth. Njor, initially stern and unyielding, represents the rigid hierarchy and high expectations of Predator society. Dec's triumph is both physical and symbolic. By defeating the hybrid creature and demonstrating superior strategic thinking, he earns recognition not only from his father but from the larger Yautja code of honor. This moment reinforces the central theme of earned respect, showcasing that adaptability, intelligence, and ethical judgment are as critical as physical strength in Predator society. Following these climactic events, Dec and Thea's exploration of the planet uncovers additional details about Weyland-Yutani's operations. Malfunctioning security drones, containment pods with experimental creatures, and data terminals provide insight into the corporation's relentless pursuit of power. These sequences balance tension and narrative exposition, revealing larger galactic stakes and reinforcing the ethical considerations central to the story. The filmmakers emphasize realism by combining physical sets with CGI enhancements, creating environments that feel lived in, dangerous, and narratively significant. The post-climax denouement focuses on training and recovery. Dek refines his skills using recovered weapons and terrain features, while Thea provides analytical support, highlighting the ongoing evolution of their abilities and partnership. These quieter sequences allow reflection on character growth, establishing narrative closure while hinting at the potential for future adventures. Dek's evolution from outcast to acknowledged hunter is reinforced visually and emotionally, with cinematography emphasizing his confident posture, controlled movements, and measured decision-making. Thea's autonomous behavior, both in combat and problem-solving, underscores her development from damaged android to capable and independent partner. The departure from the planet is visually striking, captured with sweeping wide shots of alien sunsets, volcanic activity, and undulating terrain. The cinematography emphasizes scale, danger, and triumph, allowing the audience to witness the magnitude of Dek and Thea's survival. Motion capture technology ensures that Predator movements retain authenticity, while practical effects and digital extensions seamlessly merge to create a believable alien world. Sound design accentuates every environmental hazard, creature movement, and combat strike, ensuring full sensory immersion. Music composition by Shackner and Wallfish punctuates emotional beats, heightens tension, and reinforces thematic arcs, blending suspenseful motifs with triumphant crescendos. Marketing efforts reflected the film's dual emphasis on action and narrative depth. Trailers highlighted Dek's growth, environmental challenges, Predator cultural elements, and the partnership with Thea. Critics praised the film for balancing spectacle with thematic exploration, noting the successful reinvigoration of the franchise from the Predator's perspective. Box office performance exceeded expectations, confirming both audience engagement and the franchise's enduring appeal. Fan discussions explored lore connections, character development, and Easter eggs, noting how the film set the stage for future sequels and expanded universe projects. The post-credits scene hints at ongoing galactic threats, other Predators monitor Dek's progress, and Weyland-Yutani continues its experiments, foreshadowing conflicts and alliances yet to come. These narrative threads provide a foundation for sequels, teasing the continuation of Dek and Thea's story and the expansion of the Yautja universe. In totality, Predator: Badlands represents a transformative entry in the franchise. Its focus on the Predator as protagonist, combined with environmental hazards, hybrid adversaries, ethical dilemmas, and deeply developed character arcs, elevates the film beyond conventional action horror. Dek's journey, from exiled outcast to respected hunter, mirrors broader themes of identity, honor, and adaptability. Thea's evolution from damaged android to competent partner reinforces the narrative's emphasis on cooperation and mutual respect. Production excellence, including practical and digital effects, cinematography, sound design, and music composition, ensures immersive storytelling that engages both visually and emotionally. The careful integration of franchise lore, combined with post-credits teases, establishes a platform for continued exploration of the Predator universe in future installments. Ultimately, Predator: Badlands is a comprehensive, immersive cinematic experience, delivering suspense, action, and emotional depth while expanding the mythos of the Yautja species. Every encounter, every environmental hazard, and every character interaction is imbued with significance, providing audiences a layered and satisfying journey. The film successfully balances homage to franchise traditions with innovative storytelling, reaffirming the Predator series as a versatile, evolving universe capable of blending science fiction, action, and philosophical exploration. From start to finish, it immerses viewers in a world where survival, honor, and intelligence are inseparable, and where the line between hunter and prey is constantly tested. Predator: Badlands is set in a distant future where the familiar settings of Earth are replaced by an alien world known as Jenna, a planet defined by extremes of climate, geography, and biology. Jenna is harsh, with sprawling deserts, jagged mountains, dense forests of alien flora, and swamps that emit a toxic, bioluminescent mist. Its gravity is slightly higher than Earth, affecting movement and making physical exertion more demanding. This unforgiving environment is inhabited by predatory creatures ranging from massive quadrupeds resembling armored rhinoceroses to aerial predators with serrated wings capable of slicing through the thickest trees. Every ecosystem on Jenna presents a unique threat, creating a constant challenge for survival, and the planet itself seems almost alive, responding subtly to intruders with natural hazards and territorial behavior from its native fauna. The central character, Dek, is a young Yautja born into a clan that prizes strength, cunning, and success in the hunt. From a young age, Dek is smaller and less muscular than his peers, leading to ridicule and doubt from his father, Njor, the clan's chieftain. Yautja culture emphasizes trials of strength, rites of passage, and the collection of trophies to signify achievement. Failure is not tolerated lightly, and Dek's shortcomings have marked him as unworthy in the eyes of his clan. When Dek reaches the age for the Trial of Merit, a ceremonial hunt designed to prove his worth, he is assigned a near-impossible task: travel to Jenna, identify the apex predator of the planet, and survive long enough to return with evidence of his success. The journey itself is a rite of exile. If Dek fails, he is presumed dead, and his clan's judgment will be final. Dek's journey begins aboard a Yautja vessel equipped with advanced cloaking technology and automated navigation systems. The ship, designed for long-distance travel and survival in hostile conditions, malfunctions during atmospheric entry on Jenna, forcing Dek to crash land in the middle of a volcanic desert. Alone, injured, and lacking many of his standard tools, Dek immediately faces his first trials: sandstorms carrying abrasive particles that damage his armor, geysers of acidic steam erupting unpredictably, and packs of territorial native creatures that hunt in coordinated groups. Dek's early failures and near-death experiences are punctuated with moments of discovery, as he learns to adapt, study, and use the environment to his advantage. His growth is both physical and mental, setting the stage for the transformation that defines his arc. Early in the narrative, Dek encounters Thaya, a synthetic android of advanced design, though she is badly damaged and partially immobilized. Thaya's appearance initially alarms Dek, as Yautja instinctively distrusts synthetic life. However, when Thaya demonstrates intelligence, problem-solving ability, and a willingness to aid Dek in exchange for protection, he recognizes the practical benefit of forming an alliance. Thaya explains that she was part of an abandoned Weyland-Yutani research mission, left behind when the corporation's human operatives evacuated due to the planet's extreme dangers. She carries limited weaponry, relies on mobility aids such as hover platforms or repurposed mechanical limbs, and has detailed knowledge of Jenna's flora and fauna. Her perspective contrasts sharply with Dek's, as she approaches survival from a scientific, adaptive standpoint rather than relying solely on strength and aggression. The two characters, initially wary, begin a tentative partnership. They encounter a series of native threats that test their combined skills. Among these is a creature resembling a giant insectoid with armored plating and acidic saliva. In their first major encounter, Dek uses stealth tactics, while Thaya provides remote analysis and environmental manipulation, creating a coordinated effort to overcome the creature. This collaboration allows Dek to understand the value of intelligence, strategy, and alliances beyond his traditional Yautja training. Meanwhile, Thaya gains trust in Dek's honor and instinct, recognizing him as a protector rather than a simple predator. As they navigate further into the Badlands, Dek begins encountering rival Yautja hunters who have arrived on Jenna from other clans or are drawn by the planet's reputation as a proving ground. These rivals are more experienced and physically superior, forcing Dek to engage in a combination of guerrilla tactics, avoidance, and selective confrontation. The introduction of these antagonists reinforces the theme of competition and honor central to Yautja culture, emphasizing that survival is not merely against environmental threats but also against social expectations and rival clans. Dek's encounters reveal the rigid hierarchy and violent politics of predator society, providing context for his personal struggle and the stakes involved in completing his rite of passage. Predator, Badlands is a bold and refreshing entry in the Predator franchise, a saga that has evolved from simple tales of humans hunted by alien species into a richly layered narrative universe exploring culture, honor, and survival. Unlike previous installments, which often centered on human characters as the primary perspective, Badlands immerses the audience directly into the world of the predators, known as the Yautja. This perspective allows a rare exploration of the species' complexities, social hierarchies, and ethical codes, revealing a culture more nuanced than previously depicted. At the heart of the story is Dek, a young predator exiled from his clan due to perceived weakness. Small and less imposing than his peers, Dek is deemed unworthy by his elders, setting him on a perilous journey of survival and self-discovery. From the beginning, the narrative emphasizes that Yautja society is governed by strict rites of passage, where honor must be earned and failure can mean death or permanent exile. This rigid societal structure frames Dek's journey, providing tension and establishing stakes that are both personal and cultural. As Dek navigates the alien world of Jenna, the film's landscapes, towering alien forests, treacherous cliffs, and unpredictable terrains, become characters in their own right, challenging him at every turn. Dek's small stature forces him to rely on intelligence, strategy, and adaptability rather than brute strength alone. His encounters with the planet's native predators are designed not just as physical threats but as symbolic tests of resilience, cunning, and moral judgment. A central component of the story is Dek's alliance with Thaya, a partially damaged android created by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Initially dependent on Dek for protection, Thaya provides insight, guidance, and technological assistance. Their partnership evolves into a profound relationship built on trust, mutual respect, and interdependence. Through Thaya, the narrative examines themes of cooperation, empathy, and the breaking down of traditional adversarial roles, illustrating how bonds can form even between vastly different beings. Conflict intensifies as Dek and Thaya confront not only environmental hazards but also rival predator clans and hostile creatures. Each encounter tests Dek's tactical acumen, ethical reasoning, and ability to adapt under pressure. These confrontations emphasize that true strength within Yautja society encompasses more than physical dominance. Intelligence, courage, and strategic thinking are equally vital. The narrative also provides glimpses into Yautja culture, including rituals, hierarchical codes, and hunting ethics, deepening the franchise's lore and offering context for the characters' decisions. The film's pacing alternates between high-stakes action and quieter reflective moments, allowing for character development and introspection. Dialogue is minimal due to Dek's non-human perspective, but visual storytelling, including body language, facial expressions, and environmental cues, effectively conveys emotion and moral deliberation. Practical effects, CGI, and meticulous costume design enhance immersion, depicting Yautja armor, weaponry, and alien fauna with striking realism. The environments of Jenna are portrayed with breathtaking detail, making every biome, from toxic swamps to volcanic plains, a tangible, immersive threat. As the story unfolds, Dek's encounters with apex predators and rival Yautja clans serve as both physical and symbolic challenges. He must navigate moral dilemmas, weighing aggression against restraint, instinct against learned knowledge, and personal ambition against ethical responsibility. Thaya's contributions are critical, providing tactical insight, creative problem-solving, and moral guidance. Their partnership underscores the narrative's central theme: strength is amplified through cooperation, empathy, and mutual respect. Midway through the narrative, remnants of human activity on Jenna, including abandoned outposts, surveillance drones, and cryptic data logs, hint at the ongoing intersection of human ambition, corporate exploitation, and alien ecosystems. These subtle world-building elements reinforce stakes and enrich the story, situating Dek and Thaya's journey within a broader, interconnected universe. The climactic confrontation unites all narrative threads: the apex predator, rival Yautja factions, environmental hazards, and human technology. Dek and Thaya's combined strategy, intelligence, and moral discernment determine the outcome, illustrating that true mastery is as much about ethical judgment and strategic thinking as it is about combat ability. By the end of these confrontations, Dek has fully evolved from a tentative outcast to a competent and respected predator, while Thea has grown from a partially damaged construct to a fully autonomous, ethically aware being. Their growth embodies the story's central themes of resilience, identity, and the transformative power of interdependence. In the aftermath, Dek and Thea navigate the alien landscapes with newfound confidence and insight, reflecting on their journey and the lessons learned. Jenna itself appears transformed, symbolizing both the duo's survival mastery and the ongoing, dynamic challenges of the environment. Subtle hints of continued human interest and corporate exploitation suggest potential future conflicts, leaving the narrative open to expansion within the broader franchise. Thematically, Predator: Badlands interrogates notions of strength, honor, and identity. Dek's journey demonstrates that true honor is not dictated by societal judgment but by the conscious exercise of moral reasoning, adaptability, and courage. Thea's evolution emphasizes agency, resilience, and ethical growth in non-human entities. Together, they illustrate the power of cooperation, trust, and the courage to transcend imposed limitations. Cinematically, the film balances grand spectacle with intimate character moments. Sweeping panoramic shots convey Jenna's scale and danger, while close-ups reveal the emotional and psychological stakes. The score blends orchestral tension with alien soundscapes, enhancing suspense and emotional resonance. Practical effects and CGI are seamlessly integrated to depict alien life, environmental hazards, and Yautja technology, creating a cohesive, immersive cinematic experience. Ultimately, Predator: Badlands elevates the franchise by blending action-adventure spectacle with thoughtful character study, philosophical reflection, and rich world-building. Dek and Thea's journeys exemplify resilience, moral growth, and the complexity of interdependent relationships, providing a narrative that is as emotionally compelling as it is visually thrilling. The film's conclusion offers closure while leaving narrative threads open for future exploration, establishing it as a defining chapter in the Predator saga and expanding the possibilities for storytelling within this iconic universe. Through meticulous attention to character, culture, environment, and cinematic execution, Predator: Badlands succeeds as both a thrilling spectacle and a sophisticated narrative meditation on strength, honor, identity, and cooperation. It challenges audience expectations, enriches the franchise's lore, and provides a model for nuanced, immersive storytelling in action-oriented science fiction. The Kalisk, aware of intruders within its domain, emerges from the phosphorescent pools of the cavern like a nightmare incarnate. Its layered, armored skin glimmers under the faint bioluminescent light, each plate moving independently as it shifts, giving the impression of an animate fortress. Its multiple limbs twitch with uncanny coordination, scanning every shadow, every vibration in the cavern. Dek and Thea pause, evaluating the terrain. Stalactites hang precariously overhead, and small geysers of toxic steam hiss intermittently from fissures in the cavern floor. The smell is acrid, the temperature oppressive, yet each challenge becomes part of their strategy. Dek's eyes narrow, scanning for structural weaknesses, while Thea calculates the Kalisk's potential movement patterns, identifying areas where environmental hazards can be leveraged. The first clash is violent and immediate. The Kalisk lunges with blinding speed, one clawed limb smashing against Dek's shoulder armor. He is thrown against a jagged rock, the impact sending a shockwave through his body. Pain registers, but instinct and training override hesitation. He activates his cloaking device, blending into the shadows as Thea uses a reflective crystal embedded in the cavern wall to bounce light and create a decoy, confusing the creature. The Kalisk roars, a sound that reverberates through rock and bone, and strikes again. Dek rolls, narrowly avoiding its massive jaws, and counters with a spear thrust aimed at its softer underbelly. Thea analyzes the angle, guiding Dek's strike in real time. The Kalisk recoils, surprised by the precision, but immediately recovers, demonstrating its intelligence and adaptability. This fight is drawn out over multiple stages. Dek and Thea retreat to higher ground, using stalagmites as cover. The Kalisk employs its multiple limbs to manipulate the environment, triggering small rockfalls that threaten to collapse parts of the cavern. Dek and Thaya must navigate these hazards while continuing to attack strategically. Each strike is calculated. Dek aims for joints and vulnerable membranes. Thaya identifies weaknesses in real time, predicting the Kalisk's compensatory movements. The sequence is tense, meticulous, and cinematic, emphasizing that even an apex predator can be outmaneuvered through intelligence, observation, and cooperation. At one point, the Kalisk pins Dek beneath a falling stalactite. Thaya, using her remaining functional limbs, triggers a counterweight from nearby rocks, dislodging the stalactite and freeing Dek. This moment reinforces the partnership. Dek relies on Thaya's ingenuity, and Thaya relies on Dek's combat prowess. Dek delivers a series of rapid strikes to immobilize the Kalisk's limbs, using momentum and gravity to his advantage. The creature thrashes, shaking the cavern floor, sending dust, debris, and toxic spores into the air, creating a haze that tests both Dek's and Thaya's senses. Each movement requires heightened awareness and instinct, demonstrating the culmination of the lessons learned throughout their journey. The decisive moment comes when Dek lures the Kalisk onto a fragile ledge above a pool of molten rock. Using Thaya's precise calculations, he times a strike that destabilizes the ledge. The Kalisk roars, its limbs flailing, and falls partially into the molten pool. Dek delivers a final, precise spear strike to the creature's vulnerable underbelly, incapacitating it fully. Exhausted, injured, but triumphant, Dek claims the Kalisk's mandibles, a ritualistic proof of victory and honor. Thaya, damaged but functional, observes silently, her sensors recording every detail. The battle is both a physical and psychological triumph, cementing their evolution as a team and Dek's rise from outcast to worthy hunter. Immediately following this victory, Dek and Thaya confront Tessa and the Weyland-Yutani operatives in the ruins of the alien city. The environment is chaotic, crumbling stone towers, automated defense drones, and alien flora that react violently to intruders. The operatives use a combination of firearms and mechanical traps to control the battlefield, while Tessa coordinates with precision and ruthlessness. Dek and Thaya navigate the ruins, using stealth, decoys, and environmental traps. Each encounter is tense, combining close-quarters combat with strategic maneuvers across multiple levels of broken architecture. Dialogue between Dek and Tessa reveals motivations and ethical contrast. Tessa asserts the supremacy of corporate interests, declaring that Jenna's predators exist to be exploited, while Dek responds with guttural clicks and gestures, signaling the Yautja's belief in honor, survival, and respect for life as it was meant to exist. Thaya mediates communication, her synthetic voice translating or clarifying in moments of critical tension. The interplay of dialogue, action, and environmental hazards creates a multidimensional climax, blending emotional resonance with visual spectacle. The confrontation escalates as automated drones target both Dek and Thaya. Dek utilizes stealth and mobility, striking from shadows and high vantage points. Thaya calculates drone trajectories, disabling or rerouting systems to protect them. Tessa attempts to counter by using decoys and traps, but Dek anticipates her strategies, combining instinct with the lessons learned from previous hunts. The sequence is fluid, dynamic, and cinematic, emphasizing adaptation, intelligence, and moral fortitude. At the critical moment, Dek has an opportunity to kill Tessa. Instead, he chooses mercy, an act demonstrating his moral evolution and the completion of his personal journey. Thaya, observing and learning, assists strategically rather than merely following pre-programmed directives, showcasing autonomy and partnership. The corporate operatives are neutralized or incapacitated by the combined efforts of Dek, Thaya, and environmental manipulation. The battle concludes with the ruins of the alien city smoking, torn apart, and silent except for the distant sounds of Jenna's living ecosystem. In the aftermath, Dek and Thaya survey the alien landscape from a high plateau. The sunrise bathes the planet in golden hues, casting long shadows across valleys, cliffs, and molten rivers. The scars of battle are visible, yet the beauty of the world remains intact. Dek records a message to his home clan, asserting his accomplishments, redefining strength and honor, and symbolizing the growth that has transformed him from an exiled, inexperienced hunter to a capable and thoughtful leader. Thaya, damaged but functional, stands beside him, having evolved into a partner and equal. Their bond represents the thematic heart of the story: trust, collaboration, and respect across differences. The film closes with Dek and Thaya moving forward into the wilderness, the path ahead uncertain but navigable through combined skill, intelligence, and moral integrity. The alien ecosystem continues to hum with life, a constant reminder of the challenges that still exist, the ongoing nature of survival, and the promise of future stories. Cinematography emphasizes this transition, blending sweeping panoramic shots of the alien terrain with intimate close-ups of the protagonists. Lighting, sound, and score reinforce mood, with orchestral motifs swelling during moments of triumph and tension, while synthetic, mechanical elements underscore Thaya's presence and the fusion of organic and artificial intelligence. Predator, Badlands concludes as a narrative of transformation. It expands the Yautja mythos by exploring culture, ritual, and personal growth. It introduces synthetic intelligence as a morally complex, capable partner, and it balances visceral action with emotional depth. Themes of honor, empathy, identity, and cooperation resonate throughout, demonstrating that strength is not merely physical but arises from adaptability, intelligence, and ethical choices. The journey of Dek and Thaya redefines the franchise. The Predator is no longer merely a silent hunter but a fully realized protagonist capable of thought, emotion, and moral judgment. The story leaves the universe poised for further exploration, with the promise of sequels, spin-offs, and new adventures within the living, breathing world of Jenna. Predator, Badlands opens with a sweeping panorama of Jenna, a planet whose landscape seem carved by both fire and ice, where jagged cliffs pierce swirling mists and deep canyons vanish into shadow. The alien sun hangs low in the sky, casting fractured rays of light that shimmer across the uneven terrain, highlighting the strange flora that dominates the world. These plants are not mere scenery, many are sentient in their own way, reacting violently to movement, secreting acidic fluids, or snapping with reflexive speed. Even the air carries danger, thick with spores that irritate respiratory systems and obscure thermal signatures, challenging Dek's sensor suite. Each step he takes must be calculated, every movement could draw the attention of a predator capable of killing instantly. The opening scene establishes Jenna as a living, hostile entity, an ecosystem designed to challenge, test, and destroy. Dek emerges from the wreckage of his crashed hunting craft, his armor scorched and dented, his breathing uneven and mechanical whirs echoing through the empty ravines. Small insects, bright with iridescent carapaces, scatter at his presence, sensing movement and heat. Even these minor predators present danger, their bites capable of infection, and their swarming patterns designed to overwhelm. Dek takes his first steps into this alien wilderness cautiously, learning through observation. Every sound is amplified, the distant roar of something massive, the creak of a nearby overhanging rock, the soft, almost inaudible hiss of plants reacting to his passage. Here, the film establishes its primary survivalist tension, every moment of hesitation could be fatal. As Dek moves, his mind flashes to memories of home. On his world, the Yautja clan had deemed him unworthy, a runt. He recalls the cold, judgmental eyes of his father, Njor, the leader of the clan, whose philosophy was survival above all else, with honor dictated by physical prowess and the success of hunts. Dek remembers his brother Quay, larger, stronger, and more skilled in combat, who had been celebrated by the clan while he was relegated to the margins. These memories are intercut with Jenna's living dangers, juxtaposing past shame with present survival challenges, establishing Dek's emotional arc from outcast to proven hunter. Hours into his trek, Dek discovers Thaya, the damaged android, partially buried beneath the debris of a seismic collapse. Her torso is intact, but her lower chassis is destroyed, leaving her immobilized. She emits a low electronic whine, her vocal processor attempting communication. Dek approaches cautiously, sensing intelligence, yet wary of weakness. Their initial interaction is tentative, a dance of observation. Dek's guttural clicks and body movements are met with Thaya's precise electronic signals and gestures. Over time, they establish understanding, a shared goal of survival. The bond between them grows gradually, forged in shared necessity, patience, and trust. As they traverse the forested regions of Jenna, Dek encounters his first major environmental hazards. Towering flora, some the height of skyscrapers, respond to movement with reflexive aggression. Branches laced with thorns whip toward him, leaves secrete acidic fluids capable of burning flesh through armor. Dek uses his spear to disable some plants and tests the limits of his combat skills. Thaya assists, analyzing behavior and predicting reactions. Together, they navigate these dangers, learning that intelligence and strategy are as important as brute strength. Their partnership becomes more than convenience, it evolves into mutual reliance and respect. Their path leads them to the first predator encounter. A pack of winged, reptilian creatures, resembling elongated pterosaurs with multiple eyes and clawed forelimbs, detects their thermal signatures. Dek prepares for combat, using cloaking to approach silently. Thaya manipulates the terrain, setting small traps with fallen rocks and using her knowledge of predator behavior to create distractions. The battle is tense, measured, and complex. Dek strikes with precision, while Thaya anticipates predator responses. When the creatures fall, they are a testament to the duo's growing cohesion and ingenuity. The encounter reinforces the film's message: survival requires adaptation, strategy, and partnership, not just strength. At night, under alien stars, Dek and Thaya rest in the hollow of a massive, dormant tree. Jenna's darkness is alive with sound, insects, unseen predators, and distant roars. Dek reflects on his exile, the shame of failure, and the desire to prove himself to his clan. Thaya monitors the environment, her sensors detecting micro-movements of potential threats, while also observing Dek's behavior with curiosity. In these quiet moments, the film explores character depth, highlighting the emotional growth and psychological complexity of both beings. Their dialogue evolves from practical survival to personal insight, teasing the development of trust and empathy that will carry through the narrative. The journey into the deeper Badlands introduces new ecological hazards. Acidic pools, hidden sinkholes, and predatory ambushes test their skills. Dek observes patterns, predicting predator behavior, while Thaya calculates physics and movement in real time. One encounter involves a massive amphibious predator lurking beneath a semi-liquid swamp. Its limbs can extend rapidly, striking at Dek and Thaya with lethal precision. The fight is extended, dynamic, and tense, demonstrating both characters' evolution. Dek combines traditional Yautja combat skills with adaptive maneuvers inspired by Thaya's observations, reflecting his growing intelligence and versatility. As Dek adapts to Jenna's ecosystem, the film explores Yautja culture in depth. He discovers ceremonial carvings, trophies collected in natural alcoves, and markers of hierarchy and achievement. These cultural artifacts provide insight into the rigid codes of honor and hunting rituals, establishing stakes beyond mere survival. Dek's understanding of these codes, previously theoretical, becomes actionable. He integrates these lessons into his strategy, balancing the instincts of a predator with learned cultural insights. The midpoint escalates toward the Kalisk, the apex predator. Its presence is foreshadowed by environmental changes, tremors, strange vocalizations, and the absence of smaller predators in its territory. Dek and Thaya approach carefully, analyzing scent trails, heat signatures, and behavioral patterns. The Kalisk is immense, with multiple limbs, layered armor-like skin, and a jaw capable of crushing rock. Its intelligence is apparent, anticipating movements and exploiting terrain. Dek and Thaya combine their skills, Dek using tactical hunting techniques, Thaya providing environmental analysis, and both leveraging the terrain to counteract the Kalisk's raw power. The battle spans cliffs, volcanic fissures, and collapsing rock formations. Victory over the Kalisk comes at a significant cost. Dek is injured, and Thaya sustains further damage. Dek's triumph is symbolic as well as practical. He claims the Kalisk's mandibles as a trophy, signifying his worthiness to his clan. Thaya's guidance proves critical, demonstrating the value of intellect and strategy alongside physical prowess. This moment represents the culmination of their journey thus far: growth, trust, and the ability to adapt under extreme pressure. Immediately following this victory, Dek and Thea confront Tessa and the Weyland-Yutani operatives in the ruins of the alien city. The environment is chaotic, crumbling stone towers, automated defense drones, and alien flora that react violently to intruders. The operatives use a combination of firearms and mechanical traps to control the battlefield, while Tessa coordinates with precision and ruthlessness. Dek and Thea navigate the ruins, using stealth, decoys, and environmental traps. Each encounter is tense, combining close-quarters combat with strategic maneuvers across multiple levels of broken architecture. Dialogue between Dek and Tessa reveals motivations and ethical contrast. Tessa asserts the supremacy of corporate interests, declaring that Jenna's predators exist to be exploited, while Dek responds with guttural clicks and gestures, signaling the Yautja's belief in honor, survival, and respect for life as it was meant to exist. Thea mediates communication, her synthetic voice translating or clarifying in moments of critical tension. The interplay of dialogue, action, and environmental hazards creates a multidimensional climax, blending emotional resonance with visual spectacle. The confrontation escalates as automated drones target both Dek and Thea. Dek utilizes stealth and mobility, striking from shadows and high vantage points. Thea calculates drone trajectories, disabling or rerouting systems to protect them. Tessa attempts to counter by using decoys and traps, but Dek anticipates her strategies, combining instinct with the lessons learned from previous hunts. The sequence is fluid, dynamic, and cinematic, emphasizing adaptation, intelligence, and moral fortitude. At the critical moment, Dek has an opportunity to kill Tessa. Instead, he chooses mercy, an act demonstrating his moral evolution and the completion of his personal journey. Thea, observing and learning, assists strategically rather than merely following pre-programmed directives, showcasing autonomy and partnership. The corporate operatives are neutralized or incapacitated by the combined efforts of Dek, Thea, and environmental manipulation. The battle concludes with the ruins of the alien city smoking, torn apart, and silent except for the distant sounds of Jenna's living ecosystem. In the aftermath, Dek and Thea survey the alien landscape from a high plateau. The sunrise bathes the planet in golden hues, casting long shadows across valleys, cliffs, and molten rivers. The scars of battle are visible, yet the beauty of the world remains intact. Dek records a message to his home clan, asserting his accomplishments, redefining strength and honor, and symbolizing the growth that has transformed him from an exiled, inexperienced hunter to a capable and thoughtful leader. Thea, damaged but functional, stands beside him, having evolved into a partner and equal. Their bond represents the thematic heart of the story: trust, collaboration, and respect across differences. The film closes with Dek and Thea moving forward into the wilderness, the path ahead uncertain but navigable through combined skill, intelligence, and moral integrity. The alien ecosystem continues to hum with life, a constant reminder of the challenges that still exist, the ongoing nature of survival, and the promise of future stories. Cinematography emphasizes this transition, blending sweeping panoramic shots of the alien terrain with intimate close-ups of the protagonists. Lighting, sound, and score reinforce mood, with orchestral motifs swelling during moments of triumph and tension, while synthetic, mechanical elements underscore Thea's presence and the fusion of organic and artificial intelligence. Predator, Badlands concludes as a narrative of transformation. It expands the Yautja mythos by exploring culture, ritual, and personal growth. It introduces synthetic intelligence as a morally complex, capable partner, and it balances visceral action with emotional depth. Themes of honor, empathy, identity, and cooperation resonate throughout, demonstrating that strength is not merely physical but arises from adaptability, intelligence, and ethical choices. The journey of Dek and Thea redefines the franchise. The Predator is no longer merely a silent hunter but a fully realized protagonist capable of thought, emotion, and moral judgment. The story leaves the universe poised for further exploration, with the promise of sequels, spin-offs, and new adventures within the living, breathing world of Jenna. Predator, Badlands, 2025, directed by Dan Trachtenberg, is the seventh live-action installment in the Predator franchise. The film is set on a hostile alien planet with extreme terrain, toxic swamps, and dangerous native predators, serving as a proving ground for the young Yautja, Dek. Exiled from his clan due to his smaller size, Dek seeks to prove his worth, navigating deadly creatures, environmental hazards, and rival predators while forming an uneasy alliance with Thaya, a damaged Weyland-Yutani android. The story follows Dek's evolution from outcast to acknowledged hunter. Early sequences feature encounters with native predators, requiring stealth, speed, and strategy. Dek faces rival Yautja, including Kalisk, testing his combat skills and adaptability. The climax pits him against a hybrid predator-human Weyland-Yutani creature, combining raw strength with intelligence. With Thaya's assistance and careful use of environmental advantages, Dek defeats the hybrid, earning his father Njor's recognition and cementing his status within predator society. The film integrates franchise lore, revealing Weyland-Yutani's experiments and providing connections to previous films. Dek and Thaya explore abandoned facilities, uncovering weaponry, data, and evidence of past predator hunts. The narrative also explores themes of honor, survival, identity, and interspecies cooperation, emphasizing that true strength derives from intelligence, adaptability, and ethical decision-making. Production combines practical effects, motion capture, and CGI to create realistic creatures, dynamic terrain, and immersive action sequences. Cinematography highlights the scale and danger of the alien planet, while sound design and Sarah Schachner's and Benjamin Wallfish's musical score heighten suspense, emotion, and thematic resonance. The partnership between Dek and Thaya is central, blending combat synergy with narrative depth. Marketing highlighted the predator-centered perspective and high-stakes battles, with trailers emphasizing survival, environmental challenges, and the bond between Dek and Thaya. The film premiered on November 3, 2025, with a theatrical release on November 7, earning over $180 million globally. Critical reception praised its character-driven storytelling, immersive world-building, and innovative approach within the franchise. The post-credits scene teases further galactic conflicts, including other predators observing Dek and ongoing Weyland-Yutani experiments, setting up potential sequels and expanded universe stories. In summary, Predator: Badlands revitalizes the franchise by focusing on the Yautja as protagonists, blending intense action with philosophical themes of honor, survival, and identity. Dek's journey from exile to respected hunter, along with Thaya's evolution into a capable ally, creates a compelling narrative that balances spectacle, emotional depth, and franchise continuity while setting the stage for future adventures. As Dek and Thaya venture deeper into the Badlands, the environment grows even more treacherous. The terrain shifts from volcanic deserts to dense forests filled with towering fungi and luminescent plants that release spores when disturbed. Rivers of corrosive water cut through jagged rocks, requiring precise navigation and careful observation. Every step becomes a potential threat, and survival depends on the synergy between Dek's hunting instincts and Thaya's analytical approach. During this segment, the film emphasizes the alien ecosystem's complexity. Creatures act not as simple predators or prey but as part of an intricate food web, each with unique strategies and defenses that force Dek to innovate constantly. The apex predator of Jenna, known among the planet's fauna as the Kalisk, is first hinted at through distant sightings and indirect evidence: massive claw marks on rock faces, the remains of large creatures scattered across the landscape, and subtle environmental changes such as shifts in weather patterns or seismic tremors preceding its presence. The Kalisk is presented as near invincible, faster and stronger than any Yautja Dek has previously encountered, and possessing intelligence that rivals or surpasses human strategic thinking. Its design combines elements of reptilian and mammalian physiology. Armored scales cover key regions, while its limbs are capable of precise and deadly strikes. Its sensory organs allow it to detect movement over large distances, and it has a form of bioelectric field sensing, which makes stealth extremely difficult. Encounters with lesser predators leading up to the Kalisk introduce Dek to the planet's survival lessons. A notable sequence involves a swarm of pack hunters, small yet aggressive creatures that hunt collectively, surrounding Dek and Thaya. Using the terrain to his advantage, Dek lures them into a canyon where Thea sets up a defensive mechanism using old Weyland-Yutani equipment, energy nets and remotely triggered traps. The combined effort results in a tense, suspenseful battle sequence highlighting Dek's increasing tactical intelligence and Thea's resourcefulness. These sequences are also used to deepen the audience's understanding of Yautja hunting methods, including the reliance on stealth, environmental observation, and psychological warfare. During this journey, Thea reveals more about Weyland-Yutani's research on Jenna. The corporation had sought to catalog and manipulate the planet's wildlife for bioweapons development. Their abandoned research facilities, scattered across the landscape, contain incomplete data logs, partially functioning machinery, and defensive turrets. These remnants provide narrative tension and background context, showing that human interference has already altered the planet's natural balance. Dek's Yautja instincts initially drive him to destroy or avoid these human artifacts, reflecting his cultural respect for natural hunts, but necessity forces him to collaborate with Thea to access critical information about the Kalisk and other dangerous species. The dynamic between Dek and Thea develops further during a near-fatal encounter with a flying predator, a winged creature capable of ambushing from above. Thea's guidance allows Dek to anticipate flight patterns and use the environment for cover. In this sequence, Dek sustains injuries that test his resilience and adaptability. Thea's synthetic physiology enables her to survive conditions that would incapacitate humans, and her moral and analytical perspective challenges Dek to consider alternatives to pure aggression. Their growing mutual respect underlines the narrative's theme that strength and honor can manifest in ways beyond traditional Yautja combat rituals. Conflict escalates with the introduction of Tessa, Thea's synthetic counterpart, who serves as a foil. Unlike Thea, Tessa is programmed or modified for aggression and control, seeking to exploit Jenna's dangers rather than navigate them collaboratively. Her arrival forces Dek and Thea to reconsider their strategies, emphasizing the tension between instinctual behavior and conscious choice. Tessa's interactions with Dek reveal aspects of Yautja psychology, including the balance between pride, survival, and ethical considerations during the hunt. These confrontations are not only physical but also ideological, as Tessa embodies the extremes of synthetic logic contrasted with Dek's evolving moral and strategic reasoning. Meanwhile, Dek's own clan on the Yautja homeworld monitors his progress through limited surveillance tools. Njor, Dek's father and clan leader, expresses a combination of scorn and concern. Through intermittent communications, the film explores predator society's rigid hierarchies and the cultural imperatives surrounding honor, achievement, and legacy. Dek's journey is not only external but deeply personal, as he reconciles the expectations of his clan with the realities of survival on Jenna. Moments of reflection, often in the quiet of alien nights, show Dek learning from mistakes, observing prey behavior, and internalizing lessons about patience, observation, and tactical adaptation. A pivotal moment in Part 2 occurs when Dek and Thea discover a partially intact Weyland-Yutani research station. Inside, they find data suggesting that the Kalisk is not merely a natural predator but has been genetically modified or influenced by prior human experiments to become the apex hunter. This revelation raises stakes dramatically, as Dek now faces a creature whose abilities may surpass any natural limit. Thea assists Dek in developing a plan to confront the Kalisk, integrating Yautja hunting techniques with technological enhancements salvaged from the station. The alliance between alien instinct and synthetic intelligence becomes essential, symbolizing a thematic fusion of natural and artificial survival strategies. The middle section of the film culminates in several intense confrontations that test Dek's newfound skills. He learns to use camouflage, trap setting, and guerrilla tactics with unprecedented sophistication, often coordinating silently with Thea. Small victories against minor predators bolster his confidence but also foreshadow the ultimate challenge, facing the Kalisk. Each encounter is layered with tension, strategy, and moral choice, illustrating that survival on Jenna requires more than brute strength. The narrative balances suspense, action, and character development, ensuring the audience is invested in Dek and Thea's journey. As Dek and Thea prepare to confront the Kalisk, the stakes reach their highest point. The duo uses intelligence, preparation, and their combined skill sets to anticipate the creature's patterns. Using data salvaged from the abandoned Weyland-Yutani research station, Thea designs a series of environmental traps and distractions to exploit the Kalisk's known weaknesses. Dek applies his Yautja hunting instincts to set ambush points, choosing vantage positions and leveraging natural cover. Their planning highlights the fusion of alien instinct and synthetic analysis, emphasizing the narrative's thematic exploration of adaptation, intelligence, and cooperation. The confrontation with the Kalisk occurs in a cavernous valley surrounded by jagged cliffs, volcanic fissures, and bioluminescent flora. The creature emerges in full, revealing its formidable size, armored plating, and predatory intelligence. Its movements are deliberate, almost calculating, as it senses the presence of Dek and Thea. The battle begins with a series of feints and evasions. The Kalisk uses ambush tactics and its speed to isolate the two protagonists. Dek's Yautja training allows him to anticipate certain strikes, but the Kalisk's hybridized abilities, influenced by human experiments, make it unpredictable and extremely dangerous. Thea plays a critical role in the battle, remotely triggering environmental hazards, monitoring the Kalisk's biosignatures, and providing tactical feedback. At a key moment, she uses an improvised energy device to disorient the Kalisk briefly, giving Dek the opening to land targeted attacks. The choreography of the battle emphasizes both characters' growth. Dek is no longer the insecure outcast but a thoughtful, strategic hunter, and Thea demonstrates ingenuity, adaptability, and courage under pressure. The Kalisk itself is portrayed not simply as a monster, but as a worthy adversary that challenges the protagonists physically, mentally, and morally. During the fight, Dek sustains significant injuries, including deep gashes and burns, testing his resilience and endurance. These injuries are symbolic, representing the cost of growth and the trials necessary to achieve maturity within Yautja culture. Thea also sustains damage, further underscoring the stakes and the theme of vulnerability despite skill or intelligence. The battle sequences blend practical effects, CGI, and environmental hazards to create continuous tension, showing the alien landscape itself as an active participant in the conflict. The climax reaches a turning point when Dek employs a combination of stealth, environmental manipulation, and psychological strategy to trick the Kalisk into overextending itself. The creature falls into a pit of spikes rigged from the ruins of the Weyland-Yutani station. In this moment, Dek demonstrates that honor and skill are not solely determined by brute force, but by intelligence, patience, and the ability to adapt. The Kalisk, though ultimately defeated, leaves a lasting impression as a near-mythical force within Jenna's ecosystem, emphasizing that the world is dangerous and survival requires more than strength. Following the Kalisk's defeat, Dek and Thea navigate the aftermath of their battle. Thea, while damaged, reflects on the concept of partnership and trust, acknowledging Dek's growth and moral integrity. Dek, in turn, recognizes that survival and honor can manifest in collaboration rather than solitary conquest. This realization is central to the film's thematic arc, portraying a Yautja character whose personal development transcends traditional clan expectations and demonstrates a more nuanced understanding of identity and morality. The resolution includes a brief epilogue in which Dek communicates with his home clan. Njor, initially skeptical, observes Dek's return and the evidence of his accomplishments. Rather than simply focusing on trophies or kills, the clan recognizes the strategic and ethical dimensions of Dek's success. Dek's journey reshapes his standing within the Yautja hierarchy, showing that honor can be defined by intelligence, morality, and cooperation as well as physical prowess. This evolution in Yautja culture reflects a broader narrative ambition, to explore the complexities of an alien society beyond the traditional predator versus human formula. In the final scenes, Dek and Thea survey Jenna's landscape, highlighting both the beauty and the peril of the planet. The film emphasizes the coexistence of life and danger, and the necessity of adaptation and mutual reliance for survival. Thea's continued presence suggests that future stories could explore deeper alliances between synthetics and Yautja, potentially expanding the franchise into new thematic territories. Predator: Badlands concludes by blending high-stakes action with character-driven storytelling. Dek's journey from insecure outcast to accomplished hunter represents personal growth and cultural evolution, while Thaia's partnership demonstrates that intelligence, empathy, and collaboration can rival traditional forms of strength. The film sets the stage for potential sequels by leaving narrative threads open. The Kalisk species may survive in unknown numbers, Tessa remains at large, and Weyland-Yutani's experiments hint at further interference with alien ecosystems. The implications for the Predator franchise are significant. By centering a predator as the protagonist and exploring Yautja culture in depth, the film opens new avenues for storytelling. Future entries may focus on different clans, interactions with human or synthetic civilizations, or the internal politics of predator society. The decision to depict the world from an alien perspective, rather than human-centric survival stories, allows the franchise to explore themes such as morality, honor, adaptation, and coexistence in ways that were previously unexplored. In conclusion, Predator: Badlands represents both an evolution and a reimagining of a classic science fiction universe. Its narrative, character development, and world-building create a richly detailed story that honors the franchise's legacy while expanding the possibilities for future installments. Dek's personal journey, the dynamic with Thaya, and the formidable challenge posed by Jenna's apex predator exemplify a careful balance of spectacle and thoughtful storytelling. The film demonstrates that the predator mythos can evolve beyond Earth-based hunts and human adversaries, offering audiences an imaginative, emotionally engaging, and visually spectacular experience that could redefine the expectations of science fiction action cinema. Beyond the immediate plot, Predator: Badlands invests considerable narrative energy into world building, revealing the complexities of Yautja culture and the alien ecosystem of Jenna. Yautja society is hierarchical and ritualistic, governed by strict codes of honor and achievement. Success in hunting is the primary measure of worth, but these measures are not purely quantitative. Each hunt carries a moral and cultural dimension: the manner in which a target is approached, the use of strategy, patience, and observation, and the ability to adapt to unforeseen challenges all contribute to a Yautja status. Dek's journey illustrates a rare deviation from traditional metrics. His initial failure in physical prowess is compensated by creativity, collaboration with Thaya, and the ability to outthink both natural and artificial threats. This evolution of character challenges the audience to reconsider the notion of strength in predator society, emphasizing that adaptability and intelligence can be as honorable as raw physical might. Jenna itself functions as a character within the story. The planet's environmental diversity, extreme weather, and predatory life create an ecosystem that demands constant attention and strategic thinking. Volcanic deserts, acidic swamps, and dense alien forests are not mere backdrops but active obstacles, requiring protagonists to observe and respond to subtle environmental cues. Creatures of Jenna, from swarming insectoids to massive quadrupeds, exhibit complex behaviors. Many hunt in packs with coordinated strategies, while others employ ambush and camouflage to surprise prey. Some display intelligence that allows them to anticipate and counter standard Yautja tactics. The apex predator, the Kalisk, represents the pinnacle of Jenna's evolutionary adaptations, enhanced further by human experimentation. Its combination of speed, strength, intelligence, and bioelectric senses makes it a formidable opponent and symbolizes the planet's capacity for challenge, danger, and narrative tension. The film also explores the intersection of natural and artificial intelligence through Thaya and Tessa. Thaya's damaged but adaptable synthetic design demonstrates that survival is not exclusive to organic beings. Her knowledge of environmental manipulation, understanding of predator behavior, and strategic foresight complement Dek's natural instincts, creating a partnership that defies traditional predator-prey paradigms. Tessa, in contrast, represents a more antagonistic form of synthetic life, driven by programmed goals rather than adaptive morality. Their presence raises philosophical questions about consciousness, morality, and the definition of survival. Dek's interactions with Thaya and Tessa serve to expand the franchise's thematic range, moving from simple action-focused storytelling into ethical considerations about cooperation, empathy, and interspecies understanding. Predator: Badlands also delves into the consequences of human interference, particularly through the remnants of Weyland-Yutani research. The abandoned facilities, experimental logs, and partially functioning devices scattered across Jenna suggest that humanity has attempted to manipulate the planet's ecosystem for its own ends. While no humans are present in the story, the legacy of corporate experimentation shapes the narrative, creating tension and ethical commentary. The Kalisk's genetic enhancement, possibly a product of human tampering, embodies the unintended consequences of such interventions, serving as a warning about the dangers of overreach, exploitation, and environmental disregard. Dek's personal growth is mirrored by his increasing understanding of predator ethics. By observing and surviving the challenges on Jenna, he internalizes lessons about patience, humility, and respect for life forms, even those he must hunt. The climax, in which he defeats the Kalisk not solely through strength but through intelligence, strategy, and environmental manipulation, reinforces these lessons. Dek's success is a narrative victory that simultaneously satisfies the action-driven expectations of the franchise while advancing a more nuanced exploration of character development. The resolution, with Dek returning to his clan and being recognized not just for kills but for strategic skill and moral consideration, represents a broader cultural shift in the portrayal of Yautja values. The narrative suggests that the next generation of hunters may integrate adaptive intelligence and ethical decision-making into their traditional code, potentially reshaping predator society itself. Thematically, Predator, Badlands emphasizes several core ideas. Survival is not merely physical, it requires observation, adaptation, and sometimes collaboration. Honor extends beyond trophies and traditional displays of power, encompassing moral choices and respect for life forms. Cooperation between disparate entities, organic and synthetic, can lead to superior outcomes, challenging assumptions about hierarchy and individuality. The narrative also examines the consequences of human interference in alien ecosystems, providing subtle commentary on ecological disruption, technological overreach, and the ethical responsibilities of advanced civilizations. These thematic layers enrich the narrative, offering depth that complements the visceral action sequences. In terms of potential sequels, several narrative threads remain open. Tessa's continued existence hints at future confrontations between Dek, Thaya, and synthetic adversaries. The survival of other Kalisk offspring or similar apex predators on Jenna suggests ongoing threats and opportunities for further exploration of the planet's ecosystem. The presence of Weyland-Yutani remnants raises questions about additional corporate interference, while Dek's evolving role within his clan provides narrative possibilities for political intrigue, interclan rivalries, and exploration of Yautja traditions in a new cultural context. These elements collectively position Predator, Badlands as a launching point for an expanded cinematic universe, combining action, science fiction, ethical inquiry, and alien world-building. The film's visual and technical achievements support these narrative ambitions. Cinematography captures Jenna's scale and danger, while practical effects and computer-generated imagery create seamless interactions between characters, creatures, and the environment. Music, sound design, and editing work in concert to maintain tension, highlight emotional beats, and enhance the immersive experience. Predator, Badlands demonstrates how thoughtful integration of technology, visual storytelling, and narrative depth can elevate a genre film beyond spectacle alone. In conclusion, Predator, Badlands is more than a continuation of a classic science fiction franchise. It is an exploration of alien culture, ethics, and environmental complexity, using action and adventure as a framework for broader philosophical and thematic investigation. Dek's journey, Thaya's partnership, and the formidable ecosystem of Jenna together form a layered narrative that combines personal growth, cultural reflection, and ethical inquiry. The film expands the boundaries of what a Predator story can encompass, providing both satisfying action sequences and intellectual engagement. Its implications for future storytelling include the possibility of further exploration of predator society, the consequences of human intervention in alien worlds, and the potential for collaboration between diverse forms of intelligence, organic or synthetic. These elements ensure that Predator, Badlands resonates with fans of the franchise while offering fresh, thought-provoking perspectives on survival, honor, and adaptation. Jenna's wildlife is a central component of Predator, Badlands, not only as physical threats but as a way to explore the planet's ecosystem and the narrative's thematic depth. The creatures exhibit sophisticated behaviors and adaptations that challenge both Dek and Thaya. One prominent example is the Kalisk, the apex predator of the planet. Standing over 4 meters tall, it combines reptilian agility with mammalian strength. Its bioelectric field detection allows it to sense motion and even minor disturbances in the surrounding environment, making stealth approaches extraordinarily difficult. Its armored plating protects vital areas, while flexible joints permit rapid strikes and evasion. The Kalisk hunts with intelligence, using terrain, ambush, and feints to outmaneuver prey. Its appearance is both awe-inspiring and terrifying, serving as a symbol of Jenna's untamed natural power. Secondary predators include winged raptors, smaller but highly agile creatures capable of flying silently through dense foliage and attacking in coordinated groups. These raptors display pack hunting techniques reminiscent of Earth's wolves, demonstrating communication through vocalizations, visual signals, and chemical cues. Dek's encounters with these creatures highlight his evolving ability to anticipate patterns, predict group behavior, and apply guerrilla-style tactics. The raptors, while not as physically powerful as the Kalisk, embody the principle that collective intelligence and strategy can rival individual strength, reinforcing the film's thematic exploration of cooperation and adaptation. Other fauna include massive insectoid swarms with chitinous armor and corrosive saliva, armored quadrupeds resembling rhinoceroses but with serrated tails capable of striking at a distance, and subterranean burrowers that ambush unsuspecting prey from below. Each species plays a role in shaping Jenna's dangerous landscape, forcing Dek and Thaya to innovate constantly. The film portrays these creatures with meticulous attention to movement, behavior, and interaction with their environment, creating a living ecosystem that challenges the protagonists on multiple levels. The richness of Jenna's wildlife underscores a recurring theme: survival requires not only strength but observation, analysis, and adaptability. The Yautja culture depicted in Predator, Badlands is elaborated through rituals, hunting practices, and social hierarchy. The trial of merit is one such ritual, designed to test an individual's physical, mental, and ethical capabilities. Traditionally, young Yautja must hunt formidable prey alone, demonstrate skill, and return with a trophy to signify their accomplishment. Dek's journey challenges this notion by integrating intelligence, cooperation, and strategic thinking into the successful completion of the trial. This evolution illustrates that honor in Yautja society may expand beyond traditional measures, accommodating diverse forms of competence and moral consideration. Additional rituals observed or referenced include initiation ceremonies, clan councils, and code enforcement, which highlight the complexity and rigidity of their societal structure while providing a contrast to Dek's adaptive approach. Predator, Badlands also explores the philosophical implications of human intervention through the presence of Weyland-Yutani remnants. The corporation's experiments have disrupted Jenna's natural balance, creating hybridized species like the Kalisk. These artifacts raise questions about ethical responsibility, the consequences of technological hubris, and the impact of colonization on alien ecosystems. Thaya's knowledge of these human experiments allows Dek to leverage this legacy for survival while simultaneously critiquing the arrogance of those who seek to control life without understanding the full implications of their actions. The narrative juxtaposes Yautja respect for natural hunts with human exploitation, emphasizing environmental awareness and moral responsibility. The film's thematic analysis encompasses multiple layers. Survival is presented not as mere physical endurance but as a combination of adaptability, intelligence, and ethical judgment. Cooperation, both between species and within alliances, is portrayed as essential for overcoming extreme challenges. The definition of honor is expanded, emphasizing strategic skill, moral reasoning, and respect for life alongside traditional measures of prowess. Predator, Badlands also interrogates the consequences of interference, whether through human experimentation or rigid adherence to outdated cultural norms, suggesting that flexibility and adaptation are not weaknesses but strengths. Narrative threads left open for potential sequels include the ongoing presence of Tessa, whose antagonistic design suggests future conflicts between synthetic and organic entities. Other Kalisk offspring or undiscovered apex predators on Jenna indicate that the planet's ecosystem remains perilous and dynamic. Dek's evolving position within his clan provides opportunities for exploring Yautja politics, inter-clan rivalries, and ethical evolution. The potential return of human elements, particularly remnants of Weyland-Yutani operations, could introduce further narrative complexity, including moral dilemmas and ecological consequences. The visual and technical design of the film reinforces these themes. Jenna's landscapes are depicted with high fidelity, combining naturalistic detail with alien elements to create a believable ecosystem. Creatures are animated with careful attention to biological plausibility, behavior patterns, and interaction with the environment. The film uses lighting, sound design, and cinematography to heighten tension, emphasize scale, and convey both the beauty and danger of Jenna. Music underscores emotional beats, suspense, and climactic sequences, creating an immersive experience that aligns with the narrative's intellectual and emotional depth. Predator: Badlands ultimately expands the franchise in multiple dimensions, narratively, by centering a predator protagonist, culturally, by exploring Yautja society in depth, ecologically, by developing a complex alien ecosystem, and thematically, by interrogating the interplay between strength, intelligence, morality, and cooperation. Dek's journey, Thaia's partnership, and the challenges posed by Jenna's wildlife collectively demonstrate that survival requires more than physical prowess. The film blends action, suspense, and philosophical reflection, resulting in a story that satisfies both genre expectations and narrative sophistication. By leaving threads open for sequels and providing a rich foundation of lore, Predator: Badlands positions itself as a pivotal entry capable of shaping the franchise's future trajectory. Jenna's ecosystem is one of the most meticulously crafted elements of Predator: Badlands. Each species demonstrates unique adaptations and survival strategies, creating a layered network of predation, competition, and environmental interaction. Among the notable creatures is the Kalisk, the apex predator, whose intelligence and physical prowess place it at the top of the food chain. Its armored plating, bioelectric field detection, and adaptive hunting strategies make it a formidable challenge even for skilled Yautja. Other species include aerial hunters with razor-like talons capable of slicing through rock and vegetation, reflecting the planet's extreme evolutionary pressures. Burrowing predators with reinforced exoskeletons launch ambush attacks from subterranean tunnels, while pack-hunting insectoids employ sophisticated swarm strategies, using coordinated attacks and chemical signaling to disorient prey. These creatures provide a continuous source of tension, forcing Dek and Thaia to adapt creatively to survive. Secondary apex-level threats, though not as individually formidable as the Kalisk, exhibit intelligence and cunning that challenge conventional Yautja hunting techniques. Quadrupedal grazers, for example, defend themselves aggressively when threatened, combining speed, mass, and weaponized tails. Winged serpentine creatures patrol forested regions, using echolocation and mimicry to detect intruders. Dek's encounters with these predators highlight his development. He observes their behavior, anticipates attacks, and applies strategy over raw aggression. Thaia's analytical capabilities complement these encounters, allowing them to anticipate and manipulate environmental variables to their advantage. These battles illustrate a broader narrative theme: adaptability and intelligence often surpass physical strength in determining survival. The Yautja society depicted in the film is complex, structured around clan hierarchy, ritualistic hunting, and strict honor codes. Each clan has elders, chieftains, and warriors whose roles dictate social standing and responsibilities. Honor is determined not only by success in the hunt but also by method, strategy, and adherence to tradition. Rituals include the trial of merit, blood rites, and trophy presentation ceremonies. Dek's narrative challenges the rigidity of this system, demonstrating that innovation, moral reasoning, and collaboration can redefine cultural measures of worth. His journey illustrates a generational shift in Yautja thought: adaptability, critical thinking, and ethical decision-making can coexist with traditional notions of honor and achievement. Environmental hazards on Jenna serve as both narrative obstacles and thematic devices. Acidic rivers corrode equipment and armor, while toxic spore clouds cause temporary disorientation or paralysis. Volcanic fissures emit steam and molten debris unpredictably, demanding rapid reflexes and strategic thinking. The planet's weather is dynamic, with sudden sandstorms, electrical storms, and shifting terrain adding to the unpredictability. Deck's survival depends on careful observation, pattern recognition, and collaboration with Thea. These environmental challenges reinforce themes of adaptation, intelligence, and the necessity of respecting one's environment. Predator, Badlands also engages with philosophical and ethical questions, particularly through the contrast between organic and synthetic life forms. Thea and Tessa exemplify differing approaches to survival and morality. Thea demonstrates empathy, strategic foresight, and ethical restraint, while Tessa prioritizes efficiency, aggression, and programmed goals. Deck's interactions with both highlight the moral dimensions of hunting and survival. He learns that power must be tempered with judgment, that victories achieved without ethics are hollow, and that alliances across species and intelligence forms can create superior outcomes. These lessons form the thematic core of the narrative, expanding the franchise's focus beyond physical confrontations into moral and strategic complexity. The film's climax, involving the Kalisk, serves as a convergence of all narrative, thematic, and environmental elements. Deck and Thea leverage their combined skills to navigate terrain, manipulate environmental hazards, and anticipate the predator's intelligence. The battle emphasizes strategy, adaptation, and teamwork over brute force. The Kalisk's defeat validates Deck's approach and personal growth, reinforcing themes of intelligence, ethics, and cooperation. In the aftermath, Deck's return to his clan and recognition as a skilled and honorable hunter represents a cultural evolution, suggesting a potential shift in Yautja values toward broader definitions of honor and competency. Predator, Badlands leaves several narrative threads open for future exploration. Tessa's survival indicates future confrontations, while the presence of additional apex predators on Jenna hints at ongoing threats. Deck's integration into his clan positions him to influence Yautja culture, potentially redefining hunting codes and social norms. Weyland-Yutani's legacy and experimental artifacts suggest further exploration of human interference in alien ecosystems, raising ethical questions and providing narrative tension for sequels. These threads collectively establish a foundation for an expanded cinematic universe that combines action, ethics, and complex alien ecology. Technically, the film integrates high-quality visual effects, practical creature models, and immersive sound design to enhance storytelling. Cinematography emphasizes scale and danger, music underscores tension and emotion, and editing balances high-paced action with contemplative moments. The integration of environment, creature behavior, and character strategy ensures that each encounter feels dynamic and consequential, supporting both spectacle and narrative depth. Thematic analysis reveals multiple layers of meaning. Survival is a multifaceted concept, combining physical ability, intelligence, moral judgment, and collaborative skill. Honor is contextual, flexible, and capable of evolving beyond traditional metrics. Ethical considerations emerge through the interactions between Deck, Thea, and Tessa, and through the consequences of human interference. The narrative emphasizes adaptability, ecological awareness, and the interplay between instinct and reasoning as essential for survival in extreme environments. Ultimately, Predator, Badlands expands the franchise both narratively and thematically. By centering a predator protagonist, exploring Yautja societal evolution, cataloging an intricate alien ecosystem, and integrating philosophical and ethical considerations, the film transcends standard action tropes. Deck's journey, Thea's partnership, and the challenges of Jenna collectively offer a story that is both viscerally exciting and intellectually engaging. Predator, Badlands sets a new standard for franchise storytelling, providing a foundation for sequels, spin-offs, and extended explorations of predator culture, alien ecosystems, and ethical considerations in science fiction narratives.